Welcome back to Bluegrass, and it's beautiful September afternoon. I'm out here herding cats, or at least that's what it feels like. But no, in all reality, today we're talking about whether or not a small dog might be right for your family situation. So I have a Norwich Terrier, I have a Jack Russell Terrier, and I have a toy Goldendoodle. Let's take a look at this Goldendoodle, because these Goldendoodles always get you guys fired up. All right, look at that. And believe it or not, I think this is a pretty good dog. Oh, it's a very nice dog. But out of all the dogs that's here right now, this is my favorite. You guys who keep up with my channel, you know that I've said as I get older, I'm going to start getting into some a little bit smaller dogs. And I really like English Cocker Spaniels. They're a good size. They're a good little dog. But a lady I know from Lexington, she brought me this Norwich Terrier. Hey, and this right here, this is a good dog. And I don't care what you people out, because I know what y'all are saying. Y'all are thinking, well, I don't like little dogs. Little dogs are barky. Little dogs are snappy or whatever. You've just never been around a really awesome little dog, okay? So I'm gonna walk around with this dog, and then we're gonna let some big dogs out and play. And we're gonna talk about what I think about when I'm working with small dogs. Now, the first thing that I think about is the fact that I have a responsibility when I have these little dogs here. Come here, Teddy. I have a responsibility to make sure that I help these dogs grow up and realize their full potential. Because I know some of you guys are going to be in the comment section already talking about how these little dogs are snappy, or how they're barky, or how they, run away from you and stuff. But like with most dogs, those type of behavioral issues are really the result of a lack of proper basic obedience and socialization during the puppy's formative time, okay? So this is Rita. Now, Rita was on the conformation circuit. She was a show dog all the way up till she was a year old. So when she came here, she didn't have much in the way of formal obedience. She most certainly didn't walk well on a leash. She couldn't navigate the exercise of small challenges course. She wasn't maybe the best mannered dog, but she was awesome because she had so much personality. Because on the show circuit, what they value more than anything else is big personality. They want a good-looking dog with an awesome personality. And so I agreed to take this dog, and you don't really see very many Norwich Terriers, but I agreed to take her because I wanted to kind of play with her a little bit. And I'll be danged if she wasn't here 2 or 3 days, and I realized that I could live with one of these. You know what I mean? I could actually live with 3 or 4 of them because they don't take up much space. And even though she didn't have the strongest obedience base when she was a puppy, she's really been very pleasant to work with. She's got a great personality. She's very outgoing. She's very easy to motivate. She has some of the natural terrier tendencies that you see, where she wants to kind of dart away from you some. She likes to chase rabbits, and she got after a possum the other day. I don't know what she would have done if she caught it, But other than that, she's a great dog. So when people have been down here visiting their dogs, which is mainly, I get a bunch of Labs and Goldendoodles and German Shorthair Pointers and other sporting dogs, they all start off thinking they don't like little dogs, and then when they meet Rita Mae here, they all leave here thinking that they might get one of these just to be buddies with their big dog. That's how much being around one really good small dog can sway your opinion. So let's talk about, if you might think about getting a small dog, let's talk about what you would do. Or if you think about judging someone else's small dog, let's see if it's really the dog's fault or if it's the fault of the person who's been raising the dog. Because right now, what you see is this little dog has been able to pay attention and walk on the leash. She's been able to successfully navigate the exercise with small challenges course, and she's been able to do that while all her buddies were running around playing or over there getting attention from people. Okay, so you see that they can learn some good basic obedience even if they start late. Rita Mae started at a year old. They can learn, they can be social, they can pay attention under distraction. Okay, and so let's look at some of the life skills and situations where these dogs excel. Now this one, like I said, she's a little bit on the fragile side, and she's going to be traveling a lot, so she needs to learn to be carried like this. But we're going to go out back, and I'm going to take some Labrador Retrievers, and I'm going to take a Boxer, and I'm going to take a Goldendoodle, and we're going to let these little guys just tag along, and I'm going to show you that your discrimination that you direct towards these small dogs, it's unfair, right? So stick with me, Watch me take these dogs for a walk, and then maybe you'll decide that a small dog is actually right for you. All right, Claire, let those dogs go and let's take off. Come on. Come on, dogs. Let's go, dogs. Come on, come on. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let all these dogs run around for the most part. Then I'm just going to periodically let this micro Goldendoodle down and let her run around and sniff and play and explore and then pick her back up, because that's going to kind of be her life. This dog's owner, her son is actually training to be a race car driver. That's a really cool job, but this dog's going to be all over the world, you know, and she's got to be able to, you know, go from lap to lap and see people, but she has to be comfortable enough to go in different areas so that she can potty and she can be around machinery, she can be around other dogs, you know. So we got to try to really make sure that we put this micro doodle in situations where she learns how to carry herself in such a way that she avoids being in danger, and she accepts the fact that sometimes she might be in danger and she might have to be picked up. Okay, come on, let's go, nerds. Very good dogs. What'd you do, Rita Mae? You're a good dog. Teddy, come on, Teddy, you can do it. Come on, Teddy. Now, for those of you who've been around the channel a long time, you will recognize that Jack Russell Terrier there, his name's Teddy. When he came here, my wife, she noticed that he was having problems breathing, so we run him up to the vet, and he had a heart problem. And I have a video about the procedure that was used to fix him, but he had a valve that was open in his heart, and he was about to die, and we saved him just in the nick of time. Oh, now see right here, this dog was pretty happy in my little haversack until all the other dogs started playing, and now she's thinking she wants to get down and play. And I'm going to give her a chance to get down and play, but this is what we're training her for. We're training her to learn to resist the impulse to just get out and do everything she wants to do at that moment, okay? So she's going to get to run and play and have a good time, but it's going to come after she's been calm, attentive, and polite in my haversack. Very nice dog, but you got to lay in there for a little bit longer. Very nice. No, not yet. Not yet, nerd. This is how I used to feel when I was too short to ride the rides at the amusement park. I had to watch all my friends ride them for years. Very good dogs. Nope, not yet. Not yet. You're not big enough yet to jump out of the haversack. Now, every so often, I'm going to ask these dogs to come back and check in. Dogs! Go, Yard. Come on, come on. Come on, Bo. Good dogs. Very nice. I can't take them places if I can't trust them to come back when I call them. Again, that's what I was talking about earlier with the little dogs. People don't hold their little dogs to a high standard. They don't teach them good basic obedience. So then they don't get to socialize them well. Well, when they don't socialize them well, the dogs never really develop a comfortable way of interacting with new people and new dogs. Very nice dog. You a good boy, Daddy. Good girl, Rita Mae. Now you guys can't see it, but this little dog keeps trying to crawl out of the sack, and I keep having to put her back in. And this is very frustrating for this dog. But now the payoff is going to be that she's going to get to travel the world and do lots of fun stuff if she can just learn to be well-mannered. Very nice. All right. So we're out in my pre-adventure area, And everything that we do up there on the course where we started the video, that's just to prepare us for going out in the real world. So we do our basic obedience up at my kennel, and then we come out here to the pre-adventure area, and we start to experiment with letting the dogs off leash and letting them learn by doing. Okay, then once they kind of pass this stage of training, then we head over to my farm, and whoa, they really get to run off and do whatever they want. Okay, so for example, one of the things, if you're going to be out and about doing a lot of hiking with your dog stuff, your dogs have to learn to be sure-footed. So now, this little dog's going to come out of my pouch. I'm going to put her down and do a little work with her. Now you can see Rita Mae is already pretty familiar with this stuff. Oh my gosh, because Rita Mae's such a smart dog. And now Rita Mae, being a Norwich Terrier, she's obviously going to be a little bit more sure-footed than this micro Doodle. But this micro Doodle will get it. She just needs some experience. The Terriers are very hardy. Look at Teddy. Look at Rita Mae. This right here, guys, is just a lot about just being willing to get out and do the stuff you need to do. Notice how I'm not rushing her. I'm not talking to her. I'm not trying to micromanage her. I'm just kind of trying to keep her moving in the direction that I want her to move in. And then over time, what she'll start to understand is that when we're out and we're faced with whatever kind of impediment it is. I mean, we happen to be in nature now, but she's going to be at the track a lot. And, you know, there's all kinds of stadium seating and stuff at the track. She's going to have to go up steps to get in the airplane, all that kind of stuff. We just let her have a little bit of experience. Now watch, I'm just going to walk off and leave her. And then what I'm going to do here, Cameron, you can just follow me here. I'm going to walk off and leave her just a little bit. And I'm going to let her come find me. Now, as she's coming to find me, she has to see these big dogs. Now, imagine yourself, if you were out somewhere and there was all of a sudden these big giant people around. You can see where that might make you a little bit nervous, okay? Well, a really important thing with these little dogs is letting them have enough experience of being around big dogs so that they learn how to carry themselves and not attract unwanted attention. A lot of times you'll hear horror stories about trying to go out with your little dog and some big dog attacking them. Just the other day somebody texted me and their little Goldendoodle had been attacked by 2 huskies. You know, but the little Goldendoodle didn't really know how to behave in environments with transient dogs. And it's kind of like, you know, being a person that has to go to a city where there's a transient population of, you know, whatever kind of indigents they have there, criminals, homeless, drug addicts, whatever. You know, how those people that live in a city, they get along fine because they know how to carry themselves and not make eye contact too long, but also not look like they're avoiding eye contact. Somebody like me, I go to a big city, I get myself in trouble. You know, because like I'm always talking to somebody. Somebody's got a sign up says, hey, will whatever work for food. And I'm like, well, I try to give them a job. And it turns out they don't really want to work for food. Which then it really starts a big conversation because I try to convince them that working's awesome. You know, it doesn't work very well. And for those of you who are from cities, you understand how I attract attention in those situations. I'm just not comfortable, just not familiar. You know, and sometimes, like a little dog won't be comfortable, they'll be scared. And sometimes they won't be comfortable, they'll be a little bit too friendly. And a little dog can get themselves hurt either way. If they act scared, they draw attention. But if they act too friendly, they draw attention. And then dogs like some of these big labs, or maybe this boxer here, they're very strong, and they don't always have good body awareness in terms of, you know, running into other dogs. And they can just step on a little dog like this and cause problems. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna let you down in a minute, but you gotta stay back in the sack. You gotta stay back in the sack for just a little while. So again, what I'm doing here is we're just having a little adventure, then we go back in the bag. Have a little adventure, go back in the bag. Okay, because I really want this dog to understand that her life is gonna be full of cool stuff, but it's just gonna be constant periods of like having a good time, being the center of attention, getting loved on, and then getting ignored for a little while, or having to go in her carrier or in her little sack. Very nice dog. You a good dog. Now Rita Mae, being a sturdy little terrier, and Teddy being a sturdy little terrier, I don't have to micromanage quite as much. Very good dogs. Get down here a little ways. And what I'm kind of trying to feel here is I'm trying to feel for this dog to get a little more settled. And then whenever she gets settled, then I let her down. We call that access via indirect action. I want dogs to think whenever they're in doubt, if they'll just get calm, attentive, and polite, things are going to work out. Okay, cameraman, if you want to swing out that way, I'll put this little dog down. All right, now we're gonna let her adventure for a little while. And we'll probably go up that path to your left up there. Now this is a problem. Sometimes they want to follow the cameraman. Here, dogs, come on. Come here, babies. Oh, what a good recall. That's a smart, oh look, there's a teeny Goldendoodle and a standard Goldendoodle. And then a standard lab, because all dogs want to be labs and all labs want to be black. Very nice. But see how these little dogs, they're hiking around with us fine, they're getting along with these big dogs fine. It's really unfair the way people have so much bias towards the little dogs. Little dogs are awesome. Come on, babies. Oh, don't run too far, Baker. Come back here, Baker. Come see me. Come on, come on, come on. You can do it. Very nice. Now this is really important here where, see, she might be afraid that every time she comes back, I'm gonna put her in a sack. And that's something we fight with these little dogs that get picked up too much. You see how she came back and then I like reached out to pet her and then she kind of darted over there to the side. So for every time that I put her in the sack, I need to have plenty of times where I call her back and I just love on her. Oh my gosh, she's a very good dog. She's a big dog in a little dog's body. She's a very nice dog, very smart. Give her lots of love, give her lots of attention, maybe give her a treat if she wants one, you know, good. And then let her go back to playing. If you have a little dog and you plan on carrying them around in one of these sacks, listen, you can't just call them back to you and put them in that sack every time you call them back or they're gonna get to where they don't want to come. You have to call them back and love on them, play with them, carry on, and only put them in the sack when you're fixing to engage in something that's going to lead to something better. So after Baker's been here for a little while, she'll start to look at hopping up in this sack as being awesome because she knows that we're going to go somewhere with the big dogs that's going to be fun. Another important thing, like let's say you get a little dog and you have some friends that have big dogs. Remember, little dogs have to take a lot of steps, you know? Like when I'm walking with my friends, I try to remind them, you know, like, hey, I have to take a lot of steps to keep up with you, so let's slow down a little bit. So when you go to working with these little dogs, like if you're gonna plan a hike or a route, understand that the little dogs have to take a lot more steps, and not only do they take more steps, but every obstacle is bigger. Like a shoulder height obstacle for one of these labs would be this tall. A shoulder height obstacle for one of these terriers is only this tall. So try to have empathy, try to have, you know, like a good common sense understanding of how you're mapping out your walks or your exercise sessions. All right, so pivot there, cameraman, show them. That's what we call the world famous brush pile challenge. And this is one of our key indicators of whether or not the dogs are ready to go adventuring over at the farm. We need to be able to come up here, and the dogs need to have enough proprioception, enough body awareness to navigate this kind of obstacle if I'm going to take them up in the hills of eastern Kentucky, you know. So I'm going to bring this little dog up here, put her down. And all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the dog to be comfortable, being uncomfortable, right? Like when I put her in this little bag and all the other dogs are, you know, kind of running around making fun of her, I want her to be comfortable being uncomfortable. If we have to climb up something, if we have to climb up some steps at the racetrack, if we have to climb up some steps to the airplane, if we have to, you know, be in an airplane when it's making all kinds of noise, taking off or landing or hitting, you know, like an air pocket or something, I want her to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And so every day, I just put her in situations where, like, she has to deal with something new and novel in the environment. See if I can call somebody else up here. Hey dogs, come on. Come on, babies. Come on, come on. Country, come on. Come on, you can do it. Come on, come on. Oh my gosh, what good dogs. That's a very good dogs. That's very good dogs. Very good. So here we have a black lab. Now I have a dog over there making some noise. Claire, go over there and see what that dog has found. So this is something that you need to prepare yourself for if you're going to go out adventuring with dogs. We have quite a few dogs out here, and one of them has got a critter over there and it's got it holed up on the creek bank. Now, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I'm going to have to go over there and investigate myself, you know. But if you do find yourself in a situation like that, remember how I was just talking about we make the little dogs, well, we make all dogs really, you know, feel comfortable being uncomfortable. If you're going to go out and do off-leash stuff with your dogs, it ain't going to be like Instagram. It's not going to be like everything's perfect. You know, there's going to be plenty of times where something happens and you have to make an on-the-fly adjustment. So, like right now, I'm going to have to cut this video just a little bit short and go over there and get that dog out of the creek because I don't think it's going to come to Claire. Right? So, I'm going to multitask. I'm going to put this dog back in the sack. I'm going to lock it down. Oh my gosh. Try not to get its hair in here. All right, and we're gonna take off walking, and I'm gonna go rescue the dog, and I'm gonna go rescue Claire. But anyway, the point of this video was simply, guys, little dogs are awesome. Don't be discriminating against them, because if you give them good basic obedience and good socialization opportunities when they're young, they grow up to be awesome. And when I talk about socialization, I'm not talking about just the good things, I'm talking about the bad things too. They have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Now I'm gonna go fetch this dog out of the creek, and I'll see y'all next week.